Mm. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Come on in, tap the screen, share the live, tap the screen, share the live, let's say hello, say howdy do, all that good stuff. Hope everyone's feeling good, feeling great today. Hope you're doing fantastic in these streets. Do 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 do. Happy Friday night. It's been a long time since I've been on a Friday night. And don't get too excited. We really only gonna be on maybe for like an hour, hour and a half, because I gotta get up early in the morning. So yeah, I can't be out here too late. I can't be on here too late tonight. And I still got a couple things to do. You know how like you wash your clothes and you dry them. I haven't like folded any of them. I haven't hung any of them up. So I'm trying to get that done too. Because I always have a list of like not only on my professional tasks and stuff I want to get, you know, done. I be trying to get my personal stuff. So I normally have like a to-do list and I'm like, okay, hey Veve, I'm like, these are my personal tasks today, task on top of the professional task. Okay. Okay. How's everybody doing today? Did y'all have a good day? Hey Dolores. Hey girl. Hey Kamala. Let's see. B10. Or is that an I or a one? I said B10, but I just thought about it. That could be a I. Is that bio? Tell me, is that a B or a one? I said B10, but I just thought about it. I was like, that could be an I. You have a pretty good day? Good. Good, good, good. I had a very productive day, to say the least. Okay. So we finna get in on these news updates. I still got another one that I need to record, so y'all will get it before everybody else. Hey, Aunt Jackie, what's going on, girl? How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Hold on, y'all. Let me get rid of some of this. Do 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 do. Hmm. Do 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 do. Dang, y'all! I think I lost my message. Hmm. Okay. Um. Hey, Liz. Is B in numbers? Okay, so it is B10. Okay. I thought something, I thought about it and I was like, wait. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What y'all think about these scientists, y'all? I feel like every time we talk about the scientists, we may need to like tap the screens like just uncontrollably. Like I'm like, do we need to put on the tinfoil hat and go down the rabbit hole? Because baby, this situation is out of control. And then I found out that the pilot and his son that passed away, that happened 6 days ago. But they, it just hit the news media cycle today. I was like, what in the world? I have a theory of why I think they're being taken out, but I don't want to say it on the live. I'm just scared to say it in general because I don't want them to like take down my account and be like I'm spreading false information. I would be like allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. Hey AJ, what's going on? I think it has something to do with though energy. Hey Tony, what's going on? Hey girl, how you doing, love? Thank you for my marks of love. I do. Um oh, I can't think of her name. She has the dark hair and the bob. She lives in Atlanta. And that scientist, she was online and she was talking about a lot of the things. Aunt Jackie, thank you for the mark of love. She's talking about a lot of the stuff that she had experienced as well. And I think it has to do with energy and healing. Okay, and I'm gonna just leave it at I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know. We might have to go in a little private room or something so we all can discuss our theories on what we think is happening or why we think this is happening. Because I'm like, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. And they're like all in aerospace. Absolutely not. But this is what we're gonna do tonight, okay? Because y'all know the last time I was on live, I had to skedaddle because I had client calls, right? So I like whenever y'all come up and chit chat and share your thoughts, ideas, questions, all that good stuff, right? Right, exactly. It's too many for that, baby. Come on now. It's too many. And then I think three of them, y'all know that show that used to come on the History Channel, Ancient Aliens, they worked on that show too. So I'm like, this is like crazy, crazy suspicious. And they're trying to say, like, oh, they're not linked. BS. BS, they're not linked, but they're not connected. Hey, Pen, thank you, baby doll. So, anyway, this is what we're going to do tonight, y'all. We are going to go through the news updates because there's a lot. Um, y'all know what? Shoot, it's a lot yesterday too. Do y'all want to go over yesterday and today, or just today? Because we're gonna go through them, and then I think it's appropriate to talk about some prepping. Thank you for the mark of love, Pen. Both. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my note sheet from yesterday because I can't. Yesterday was crazy. There's still stuff that happened yesterday that I need to talk to y'all about, like in the short phone calls. It's just yesterday was crazy. Hold on, y'all. Most of the okay, all right. So most of the time when I go through like my notes for the phone calls, they take up like half a sheet. You know what I mean? And I can do like 2 days on one page. Full pages today, full pages from yesterday too, and spilled over. Hey, Jewel. Thank you for my corgi, AJ. And side note, this has nothing at all to do with the news, okay? Let me tell y'all this, okay? Let me tell y'all this. I know that the Mexican tuna is going viral, okay? I get it. Y'all know I like to rattle the pots and the pans in the kitchen. I was like, that's an easy recipe. It's high protein, right up my alley. I finally had time to go to the store today. Baby, why y'all bought all the cilantro? Y'all know I grow my own herbs, but spring just started, so I don't have cilantro that's grown yet. I still need to get it from the store. Y'all buy all the cilantro. And I know what you're doing. That means all of y'all at home making Mexican tuna salad too. So but that's fine. I'm going to have it. Okay. I'm probably gonna make it Sunday. But yeah, and then one of my favorite creators, Wicked Confections. I don't know if any of y'all follow her. I love her content. And anyway, she made it too. And then she made like a little crunchy cheesy toast, and put hers on top of that. I knew it was gonna be fire though when I seen the recipe. When I first seen the recipe, I first saw the recipe like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, that look good," and I saved it. I got like a little tab, and it's like recipes I want to try. And anyway, I was like, "That look fire." Apparently, a bunch of other people thought it looked fire too. And long story long, y'all bought all the cilantro. So I know that my the store, they're gonna restock because they know people like to go grocery shopping on Sunday mornings over here, and they like to grocery shop Sunday after church. So I was like, that's cool, but I got everything else that I need for it besides the cilantro, and I'm gonna get that cilantro. Okay. Okay. And then two other questions for y'all, and then we can get into the news. And y'all tap the screen. Question number one for you guys. A lot of y'all are always asking me about my skin. Like pretty much every time I post, someone is like, what's going on with their skin? Y'all ask me about my skin and my lashes pretty much no matter what. So I'm thinking about doing a skin week. Okay. So I I definitely want to do an overall video. It's gonna be kind of long. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Where I cover all of the skincare products because I don't use all of them every night, but I got different stuff depending on what's going on with my skin, if that makes sense. And then I was like, maybe I could do like the dailies or something and like feature one a day. Would y'all be interested in something like that? Yes or no? And don't lie. Because if you know if you saw it and you're not gonna watch it, don't lie and say, yeah, I'd be interested in it because I don't want to go through the trouble of making the content if y'all don't want to see it. But if y'all want to see it, I definitely will make it and we'll go through like one by one on the highlights. Okay. Um, so we can do that. Okay, y'all are giving me the yeses. Okay. The second thing, y'all know I've been back on trying to take care of myself and get stuff together, since mama passed away because mom's taking care of her. I was so busy taking care of her. Like I completely just let myself, like turn into a waste woman. Okay. So one of the things I've been doing to help get my protein in is I have started trying these clear proteins, these clear liquid proteins. And I have so many because I had mentioned the company Oath, and then a bunch of other companies reached out to me and they were like, try ours. Okay. So now I got a gaggle of these proteins. So I was like, well, maybe we should just try them all together and we can and we can review them and see which ones are the best ones. Cause y'all know I like for instance, Seek. I feel like I see the most hype about Seek. I feel like that's the one I see like all the time. Like so many content creators, so many influencers pushing Seek. But just because a lot of people that are popular are pushing it, I know that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good or that it's the best one. So I'm just thinking about like just lining them all up and then every day we just try one. Okay. And I'm thinking about judging them on like blendability, of course, taste, also like if they have like aftertaste and if they make you like bloated or gassy or feel lethargic or anything like that. Interested, yay or nay? If you're interested, yes. If you're not, be like, girl, not really. Okay. And I keep me and my liquid proteins to myself. um you said yes, please, because some clear proteins are nasty. Hey, Business Loan Queen, what's going on, girl? Business Loan Queen, I need to get with you on my calendar because I remember we had talked about a product and I pretty much made something for you. So we need to just chit chat about it. And you need to let me know with some of the updates that are going on in the industries because of everything going on with the finances and the economics in America. So we can make sure everything is on point. Y'all said yes. Yeah, I definitely had some that were nasty. So, and I'm gonna be honest, these companies, y'all know how I am. I'm keeping a buck. Okay. So if it's good, I'll be like, it's good. And because it's hard to, if you're trying to take care of yourself, you got to do stuff that you can stick to. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, okay. So that's what we'll be focused on the personal content for next week. Okay. We're gonna be on the protein. And then I may do a couple supplements after that, but we'll definitely just focus on the clear proteins and we'll do the skincare stuff. Okay. So I'll get myself ready for that. All right. And we'll kind of do like daily highlights, or whatever on top of the news. Then the next thing that I need to know, because I'm getting a mix, I have a lot of new Kingdom members. Hey, to everybody. What are y'all like? Where are y'all at in the process when it's coming to monetization? So my clients that already have established businesses and stuff, and they've been doing whatever offline or they were doing things online and now they're starting to see a drop in their sales because of the economy. I already know what I need to do for them. Okay. But a lot of y'all that are new, hey, Royal Calypso, to getting out here and making this money and making these coins, a whole lot of y'all that are new to that. I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm kind of getting mixed. I'm trying to see like where y'all at. Like, are y'all like in foundational stages? Are y'all in ideation? Like, are y'all at a point where like you have something, but you're trying it and it's just not working? Like, what y'all got going on? Because my established people, that's a whole different set of content that y'all need. And y'all know I'm because I gotta get back to cooking, putting out cooking videos, and I gotta get back to like on the biz content on top of the news, right? So I'm about to be pushing out a crazy amount. You said still green and a newbie, but like what part of new? Like, are you new like you already have formatted the the business and you've already started like creating content and you have a target audience new, or are you new like you don't have a target audience, you don't have a marketing plan, you don't have a content map, you don't have any systems set up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what new? Because those are both new, but what level of new are y'all? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You thinking about starting a second business? Hmm. If I'm be honest, like you have experience in business, Veve, so you would be fine in that aspect. But y'all know I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think most of y'all are gonna do the best doing affiliate marketing. Um, and like if y'all are doing like DIY, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff. I think that's where most people are going to make the most money, and they're going to make it the fastest, because you don't have to carry inventory, you don't have to like worry about logos, branding, you don't have to have like personal websites in order to make money with that. And then a lot of y'all are going to do really well with UGC content creation, and you don't have to have a huge following to be a UGC content creator, because that's you like literally creating the content for the brands, and they pay you to make content for them, like that looks organic or that looks native to a platform. So if I'm being honest, that's where most people are going to be able to make money and start making money like really quickly. And then y'all remember, if y'all do an affiliate, just the same way as people that have businesses, you need to be focused on essentials. You need to be focused on inferior goods and products and services right now. So yeah. Anyway, y'all know if y'all need help with that type of stuff, y'all can go to my bio, and you can sign up for Instacorn Academy, and we'll work together for a year. Or if you can't afford Instacorn Academy, then go and get the Millionaire Suite while it's on sale. I think I'm gonna go up on the price on Monday. I was gonna take it completely off sale. I'll still leave it on sale on Monday, but I got to be true to my word for the people that already purchased it. So I can't leave it the same price, because it's not fair to the people that bought it, earlier, because they were like, I want to get it while it's at the discount. So yeah. So anyway, that's that. You said test and trials with content creation, affiliate marketing, supplements. The slow sales is stressful. Jewel, what type of supplements are you doing? Just wondering. Y'all, it's my bad. I'm getting Jewel has been with me for a long time, so I'm all in her business. Oh, and side note for everybody else that's in here, if I have helped you make money, drop the dollar signs, the credit card emojis, the euro, the yen, the dinero, whatever makes you feel good down in your shana na. Okay, do that for me, please, 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 and please, and thank you. And if I have helped you make some coins, not my last post because it was a phone call with the news, but the post before that, I have on pink and I have like a blonde wig on. Go and comment underneath that post specifically. Okay. Baby, the little weird internet minions came over with a pitchfork trying to bully me and cancel me and slander me and call me all kinds of stuff. And I ain't got no time for them hoes. Thank y'all for the money bags. Thank you for the dollar signs. I appreciate that very, very much. So yeah. And this is the thing. I honestly think the supplement space is really good, but it has to be like supplements that fit an immediate need. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if it's something that's going to help people like lower their blood pressure, or is going to give you like joint pain relief so your knees are not out here snap, crackling, and popping, if it's going to like improve your vision or your skin or hair, nails, like stuff like that, people will still spend money on stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. Things that like that people get bothered by, like there's a product on the TikTok shop that's blowing up right now. It's like this gel that you put on and it's supposed to reduce the appearance of cellulite in 2 weeks. And there are lots of women that are like putting this on and they're like, man, yeah, energy is a good one, AJ. A lot of people are low on energy for sure, for sure. Anything that's going to help someone be healthier, if it's doing with like your A1C, anything that's like, immune system or just, stuff like that, people going to be into it. What do I think about micro bakeries? I like the idea of a micro bakery. You just have to be good at promoting and marketing locally. Any of my clients that are doing anything in that field, they typically are doing the best on Facebook, because Facebook pushes you a lot to people that are, hey, Sixpo. Hey, Sixpo Triggers. Thank you for my heart, me. They're doing better on Facebook. That's where they're getting a lot of their clients and customers. And let me throw something at you outside of a micro bakery. Listen to this. And y'all, after I say this, we're going to get into the news. Okay. I know y'all like, girl, I'm here for the news. I want to hear about this business stuff. But listen, because everybody needs to be making extra money. And I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say I don't. I know that most Americans are not understanding what's about to happen. And we're going to talk about that in the news. We're going to talk about the Strait of Hormuz and the implications of it being closed as long as it's been closed. And if we get to another 30 days of it being closed, what you're going to see happen in America. And like I said, people are they're not, I don't know what's wrong with Americans. They're just not paying attention, not reading the wind. A lot of people in America are going along like everything is normal. Like they're griping and complaining about the price of gas. Baby, that's about to be the least of our worries. Anyway, instead of the micro bakery, good stormy, instead of the micro bakery, hear me out. And I'm not opposed to the micro bakery, but the micro bakery is a lot of work with, like the setup, the stand, the scheduling, the bake time, stuff like that. I have a couple of clients and we started doing this last year and they're still doing phenomenal. Okay. They pick one thing that they bake, right? So first of all, people stay hungry. Okay. And people love like fresh baked, home baked goodies. Okay. So what these clients are doing right now is cookies. They do cookie boxes and they're not like regular cookies. It's not like a regular, I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there's a regular chocolate chip or peanut butter in there, but these are almost like gourmet. Hey, Latina, what's going on, girl? These are almost kind of like gourmet type cookies. You know what I'm saying? So, very creative cookies. So maybe like the s'mores cookies, maybe like a salted caramel cookie, kitchen sink, lemon icebox pie cookies. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like really cool concept cookies, but you pre-sell the boxes. So it's like, this is your variety box. You don't get to make any edits to the box. The box is the box. Either you want it or you don't. Okay, either you want this box or you don't want the box. We say these are the cookies that's inside of this variety box. Okay, people have to submit their orders and pay for them. Yes, signature cookies. There you go. You got to submit your order. Okay, you got to pay for your order. And literally, let's say you get 50 orders or 60 orders. We normally put a cap on them because that helps them sell out really, really fast. And then they have all the orders. And because they have all the orders now they bake. So she normally spends like all Monday baking, or she'll spend all Sunday baking. And then we go to a parking lot, like a well-lit parking lot. So it could be like a Kroger, you know what I mean? Or like a gym or a strip mall or something like that. And people come and she puts little, she has like a little list of names because they're all the same cookie boxes, and people come and she has a time block. You have to be here from this time to this time to come and get your cookies. Okay. If people want their cookies delivered to them, there's an extra fee. And it's working really, really well, to the tune of like $5,000 extra a week. Really, really well. Okay. So instead of a micro bakery, like if you like, and let me be clear, you could do the same thing with bread. Cause y'all know I like bake bread. I was posting, I need to go back to posting and stuff. And every time I would put up the breads, literally there would be so many hungry people in my comments and DMing me and saying, I'll pay for it. How much will you charge me? for bread because people like fresh baked bread. So when I do like especially the sourdough croissant loaves, and I had no idea so many people like really love banana bread. So that's probably like one of the biggest ones. But all kinds zucchini, cherry nut. If I do like little cake loaves, yeast rolls, butter rolls. I make maple butter cornbread instead of honey butter cornbread, and everybody be like that cornbread like cake, like. But people like so literally it doesn't have to be cookies. So you could bake bread if you want to bake bread. You could do rolls. You whatever you want to do, you can do it. Okay. And you can just say this is the box. And people really like the variety boxes because they like getting a mix of stuff. And you say, I only got 50 boxes or only got 20 boxes available, first come, first serve. Here's a link. People set up, they pay for it, they order, and that's what's been working. And it is really good money. And the reason it's working well too, you don't have to deal with shipping. Like I know there are some people, they bake like cakes and cookies and stuff, and the shipping is something that really bites a lot of people in the butt because it's hard to keep a baked good fresh while you're trying to ship it 4 or 5 states over. You know what I'm saying? And it gets expensive, especially if they're having to use like those styrofoam containers and ice, kind of freeze it and keep it cold and overnighting it and stuff like that. It's really hard for a small business owner to get a good rate with a big shipping company for something like that. So that's why I would say like local. And I'm not saying don't post on TikTok and Instagram and stuff because you still can post there. And if people really like the recipes, then maybe you can make a cookbook. You know what I'm saying? And then people can purchase the cookbook, or maybe you can do little recipe cards. And you can charge $1 for a recipe card or something, and people can buy them. But local for sure is going to be easier on you if that's a pathway that you want to take. But just think about doing something like that. And then if you are getting lots and lots of demand, and you still want to do the micro bakery, then do the micro bakery. Okay, that's exactly what it is, Rain. The bread in the store is not real. It's got 11 million ingredients in it, and people know it ain't right. So when they can get their hands on some fresh baked bread, baby, the people they go up for it. Okay, they go up for it. They be like, yeah, they be like, give it to me. Hey, Lady L, I'm just throwing that out there, and that's for anybody. Like if you got a knack at cooking something or baking something, and you can get like really creative with it, I'm telling you, people they like their snacks. Okay. People like their snacks. Actual factual. All right. Y'all give me the ready. I know I already asked for them, but give them to me again. And let's go over the news. And once we get done with the news, we can get into the Q&A and money ideas and stuff like that. And it's absolutely yes. It is healthy. It is healthy for sure. Because if you're eating bread that someone's actually making with real ingredients, it don't even do you like the processed bread, do you? As far as like gaining weight and being bloated and all the other stuff that comes with it, for sure. Thank y'all for the readies. Oh, by the way, if it's your first time here, my name. Thank you for my marks of love, baby. Thank you. If it's y'all's first time here, my name is Ashley Ann. I'm a public speaker. I'm an award-winning luxury event designer, but most importantly to y'all, I'm a business builder, and I get on here and I talk about money, and we also talk about politics, okay? And sometimes you may just see me randomly on a live stream cooking, all right? If you see a random day, just pop in and say, hey. But as far as like content, educational content, I'm going to show you how to make money. I teach for free things that people charge hundreds of dollars for and thousands of dollars, all right? Been doing it for a long time, double Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. I'm a TEDx speaker. I've spoken at a lot of conferences, universities, the whole shebang, colleges, all that kind of stuff, private events, private trainings. I have all kinds of clients that do a variety of different things. I help small business owners and I help individuals make money with their social media accounts. And then we also do media buying on the back end, and I also create digital products. So a lot of people come to us for like high ticket, high level digital products, and we get that done for them too. So yeah, that's the type of time that I be on over here in these streets. All right. So let's get to the news. So we're going to start with today's news, and then we'll work backwards. Then we'll work into yesterday's news. Does that make sense? So we're going to start the most recent or the most current, and then we'll go from the most current back to yesterday. So you'll have a good 48-hour update and y'all kind of have an understanding of what's going on. Okay. And we'll touch on a couple rumors, okay? Because the streets be talking. We'll touch on a couple things the streets is chit chatting on too. Thank you, LC Chats. Okay, so y'all know Big Orange all day. He's been like, "Hey, we're going to Iran. I mean, we're going to Pakistan. We're going to have peace talks with Iran." Big Orange and them are like, Iran is begging us. They are begging us to come to the table to talk to them. Now, I do want y'all to keep this in mind. Our regime here in America, they keep getting up and saying, you know, we've obliterated Iran. We've decimated Iran. It's total annihilation. You know, they're weak in the knees. Okay. They wobbling like booty meat. If that was really going on, then what, and they were already decimated, then why would they be trying to come to the table for these peace talks? You see what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, y'all, you got to use critical thinking sometimes when you're listening to the things that they're putting out here that they're trying to say. Okay. Now, we all know that this is manipulation of the cat, because remember I told y'all a few weeks ago, I'm like, look at the pattern. Okay. Every weekend they go and say something favorable to try and help the cat go up. And then typically they do some crazy F-ish over the weekend, right? And then we start to cycle back all over again. So Iran, this time within 2 minutes, they came out and it said absolutely, positively not 100%. This is not true. We're not talking to them. We don't want to talk to them. As a matter of fact, the only person in leadership in America we'll talk to is Obama. They said Big Unc Obama is the GOAT, and we'll talk to him, and we don't want to talk to nobody else. That's what they had said. They said they're not interested in talking, okay, to Kushner. They're not interested in talking to Witkoff. They said no, 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 and no. And they don't want to talk to Vance Pence. Now, remember last week before Vance Pence ticked them off, they were open to talking to Vance Pence, but now they don't even want to talk to Vance Pence. They said no. They said absolutely not. And they said, if you can't make this happen, then we're not effing with you, okay? So keep in mind, Big Orange and them lied last week. They were like, oh, we're sending all these people over to negotiate with us in Pakistan and negotiate with Iran. And come to find out, baby, didn't nobody go nowhere. Blink, blink, blink. But Iran had already came out and said it wasn't true. Like, we're not doing anything with you, okay? Also, they have been doing polls. Even with the polls for the big Fox News, and y'all know the Red Hats love Fox. Big Orange is even not polling well over there. They said that he is polling worse than Jimmy Carter. They say he actually he has the worst approval rating when it comes to the economy and this war that we're in. They say he has the worst in history of any president in history. I say, God damn. And side note, I'm sure y'all have noticed this, but a lot of his big influencers, they are coming out against him. Like, did y'all see that clip of Tucker Carlson the other day? And he was talking about how, you know, he's culpable. He was running through a list. He's like, me, you, Megan, Candace, blah, 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 blah. We all helped him get elected. Side note, y'all don't believe that. Do not be manipulated, okay? One of the things that manipulators like to do, they try and use like sincere tones. They try and be calm. They try and come off as sweet and nice and not dangerous. Remember, I told y'all about that demon Mike Johnson. That's the Speaker of the Senate, right? Secretary. And I told y'all, I was like, do not let those little rosy cheeks in that suit fool you. Vicious, okay? And a lot of times, because people have a certain tone or a certain delivery, people will buy into it. Baby, there's a sheep in wolf's clothing. Do not be fooled, okay? I don't get fooled by anybody's age. I don't get fooled by their appearance. I don't get fooled by their tone. I be paying attention to what's really going on. That man is devious and conniving, okay? And he is trying to make an attempt to get in the favor of, you know, a lot of people who have disdain towards him. And he knows the best pathway at this point is to say, I take responsibility for my actions. I'm taking accountability and I was wrong. And let's put this together. Let's, repair this. He don't want to repair ish. I'm telling y'all this right now. Now, if you silly enough to fall for it, that's on you. But I'd have told you, okay? But they all coming out. Even what's her name? Megyn Kelly or whatever. She's out here talking about, we ignored his character flaws and blah, 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 blah. But there's no loyalty. Why would you be expecting him to be loyal? Who has Big Orange been loyal to? Now, in the past, 10 years, 12 years that we've seen him in the political arena like this, everybody that fools with Big Orange, what do they end up? In prison? They end up bankrupt? Or they have to flee the country. These are real things, real events that happen. And people forget that he had the people on J6 trying to HANG the vice president. That's why he don't fool with him no more. Y'all don't remember that? Them J6ers was out there trying to HANG that man, literally. I'm not talking about metaphorically. They literally were looking to string him up. Okay? He is for himself. And I don't understand why all these people keep getting in line thinking that he's going to be loyal to him. But I digress. Okay? He's loyal to them pockets. Okay? That's what he's loyal to them pockets. All right? Now, and then for whatever reason this morning, not for whatever reason, I think he's upset because we all know that he's very jealous of Big Unc Obama. So this morning he gets on his Truth Social and he starts up again talking about, Big Unc needs to be arrested. Pantsuit Clinton, that she needs to be arrested too. They need to be charged with treason, yada, 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 yip, 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 blah, 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 blah. Just keep in mind, this is projection. Whatever, anytime they try and throw something out there on other people, it's because it's really them. That is their MO. That is their path. That is what they've been doing the whole time. Yes, honey. He said that they are treasonous and that they need to be arrested. And, we got to protect democracy in America. Also, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm really agitated. This is just me personally. This is happening, but I'm agitated because the media they're not showing all these videos of Big Orange being asleep. He's falling asleep in meetings. He's falling asleep in press conferences in the Oval Office. Like they're in there talking and he's literally at the desk and he's farting. And they said it smells really, really bad. And then they cut the camera yesterday trying to hide what was going on, but they didn't cut the audio. And he's like, I got to take a, SHIT. But yet they were like Sleepy Joe. Big Orange can't even stay awake. Okay? Outside of these crazy tweets. Then the next thing, Iran came out and said Big Orange's erratic tweets are hindering negotiations because they were like, prior to this, when they would think about trying to negotiate, when they would think about trying to get on one page, on one accord, he would go and basically tweet something, or not tweet, Truth Social. But y'all know what I'm talking about. And so literally they are very turned off. And I told y'all, people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. People are pressed, such and such and such. And I keep trying to explain to people about foreign relations. And it's not okay to just be putting this type of stuff out there. It's harming. It's very harmful. And speaking of something else is very harmful, this is something I need to do a phone call after this to y'all about. This is terrible. Okay. So y'all know Boeing, like the huge plane company, the huge jet company, Boeing. Okay. NATO used Boeing for their planes and parts and stuff like that. They dropped the contract today. And instead, hold on, let me see the company that they're going with, because it's a European company. Where did I put the company that they're going for? Oh, Saab Global AI. Saab Global AI is a European company. And so now they have the multi-billion-dollar contract instead of the US company Boeing. Okay. And they're doing this. Remember, I told y'all that Europe was starting to break away from America. Canada is breaking away from America. A lot of the things in manufacturing that we are putting down because our administration is insulting and offending governments in their leadership and prime ministers and stuff all over the world. Mexico is stepping in, and people don't, you know what I'm saying? America is not paying attention. Okay. Mexico is stepping in and they're picking up a lot of stuff that is being dropped on our side. So anyway, NATO, and y'all, this is NATO sending a warning shot to Big Orange, to America, whether people realize it or not. Okay. Now I know y'all are going to see people online, especially if they're red hats. They're going to be like, NATO is nothing without America, blah, 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 blah. America looks weak right now. When I watch the international news and I watch interviews and I watch conferences and I watch conversations with other world leaders, they are saying things about America they've never said before and that they would have never said before. They are straight up clowning us. They talk about how they say that our administration is on booger sugar. They talk about them being P3DEOs, and literally they're like, if America military cannot handle Iran, there's no way that they will be able to handle China and Russia. And these are flat out words that are just coming out of other leaders' mouths of other countries. So this is why you're seeing so many world leaders going over to China to visit right now. And remember, I told y'all a few days ago that Europe is hosting a summit and they have 40 other countries coming that they invited, and they're trying to figure out how to never get in this situation again. And then I haven't seen anybody else talk about it except for me. So y'all work the comments, but it's true. Y'all know I'm just ahead of the media cycle sometimes, that they are toying with the idea of all of the European countries getting together. And then they're going to bring like Turkey, Ukraine, and I think Hungary into the mix. And they're like, all of them working together, they can have a European military and they'll be able to protect themselves and they don't need America anymore. And I need y'all to understand, if our country becomes isolated, we're going to go in a depression worse than the Great Depression. That's part of the reason the Great Depression happened, is because the country was isolated. We live in a global economy. And I know that these idiots want to make you think that we don't need anybody else, that we don't need any other country. We do. Okay. we in fact do. Okay. The world needs one another as a whole. When you start getting into like trade, when you start getting into trade, manufacturing, precious metals, materials, gases, stuff like that. Okay. So we really don't want this to happen, but I'm telling y'all right now, there was a warning shot to us. So they dropped a multi-billion-dollar contract with Boeing today, and they picked up Saab. Let's see. The next thing that they did that was really, really crazy. Well, they didn't do it. Big Orange did this. So apparently Putin is coming to the G20 summit, but Big Orange wouldn't acknowledge that Putin got invited by him. And so they were pressing him. The reporters were pressing him and they were asking him about this. Natalie, thank you for my mark of love, my dear. They were pressing him about it. And he's like, no, he's not invited. They were like, but we heard he was coming. And Big Orange was like, well, he's coming, but he didn't get invited. He's just showing up. He was like, he just showing up. I was like, what? Now I'm laughing, but it's not funny, y'all. I'm laughing, but it's really not funny. It's not funny. So then I don't know if y'all know this or not. America has seized a Chinese vessel. Okay, this is a problem. Y'all remind me to come back to this particular problem once we get through with all of the news updates, because we get tons of imports from them. This is going to create humongous shortages in America. That's why I said gas is about to be the least of your worries. Okay. So we got a lot going on. Now, y'all remember Big Putin and Big Russia are doing a lot better now because they lifted all of the sanctions, okay, off of Russia. So the financial ruins that they were in, it's turned around overnight, because you have a lot of countries in the world going to Russia to buy oil because of everything happening with the Strait of Hormuz, okay, and the Bab el-Mandab Strait as well, okay. Just keep that in mind. Then America turned around today, okay? America turned around today and put sanctions on China because they purchase oil from Iran. But remember, I told you guys that China has continued to purchase oil from Iran. The whole time all of this has been going on, Iran always kept letting the Chinese ships through. They always kept going through. So America turned around and they were like, they're going to sanction China and they will sanction any other country that is still purchasing oil from Iran. Because y'all remember, Iran has been working with about 5 countries and they all are paying the 2 million yuan toll. Because remember, they're not paying the toll in the petrodollar, they're paying it in yuans now. That yuans is a Chinese currency. So America said, well, we're going to sanction them. And at this point, the other countries are like, we don't care. Okay. They like, you can sanction your mama. We don't care. So this is very problematic, y'all. This is extremely problematic. Just China has a much larger GDP than us. And I do, it's not smart for us to get into a war with them, where not only will they dump more of their U.S. treasuries that they hold, but they stop deliveries to us. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? I'm trying to say it without saying it so that the live doesn't get banned. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down right now? And y'all know we had a whole lesson and I explained to y'all about treasuries and how they work with our money and valuation and interest rates and all that stuff here in America. Okay. So they hold a lot of our US treasuries, and Japan holds a lot of our US treasuries. Okay. Denmark been dumped a bunch of our treasuries when Big Orange was like, we want Greenland, you know, we're gonna make you a part of the United States, yada yada yada, yip yip yip. Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Great. All right. Next. Now y'all know, was it yesterday night or the night before, I came and told y'all that the government is going to bail out, or they're talking about bailing. I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. They're going to bail out Spirit Airlines. And I told y'all that the language was very, very odd, that they said that we'll have a stake. And I was like, what do you mean we'll have a stake? If you're using the taxpayers' dollars to bail out Spirit Airlines, y'all shouldn't have a personal stake. Y'all aren't using private money to bail them out, right? Excuse me. So y'all work the comments. We're going to say allegedly, but it's not alleged. It's not alleged. I'm just saying allegedly, but it's not alleged. Okay. I'm just saying allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Okay. Big Orange wants Spirit Airlines to become another arm of the U.S. military. That's what Big Orange wants. And Spirit planes would then be used to transport troops, equipment, and cargo. Yes. Yeah, real out of control, real insane. Okay. So that is what's going on with Spirit. Now, this is not just about Spirit. I need some of y'all to go and research the Mustache Man that was in Germany. And Allen put an ST in front of it. Okay. And you will see that what Big Orange is trying to do, or he's doing it. I'm not going to say trying, he's doing it. I don't know if Congress is going to step in and stop him because they just out there willy-nilly, you know, sitting on their hands. But one of the places they failed was not having their own military and being able to have their own Air Force, essentially. Okay. And so with him doing this with Spirit, this is going to, y'all remember, he keeps consolidating power and he's been firing a lot of states, men and women and officials and things like that. This is going to essentially give him his own air defense. This is a problem. This is a really, really big problem. Okay. So like I said, go look up the Mustache Man and Maybe if you get on YouTube, you can like put like how did Allen put a stuh in front of it? How did he and the mustache man accomplish what they accomplished? And then you will see like, oh my word, like this is what's going on. Okay, play for play. All right. Also, now this is silly, but it happened. Okay, Tangled Eyes. Uh, apparently, he has been drunker than a skunk for a long time. This man has been enjoying his libations too much for a very, very, very long time. So, a report has come out today that he was arrested for public intoxication, and he also was arrested for public urination all the way back in '05. So allegedly, apparently, this man has been a drunkard for 2 decades. Blink, blink, blink. I said public urination is out of control. Okay. Public intoxication is not the look. Do y'all know how belligerent and how much of a problem you have to be to get arrested for public intoxication? Tangled Eyes, head of the FBI. Y'all, when we get new people in here and they you said Piri Patel, okay? Y'all, when we get new people in here and they don't know, the code words, y'all let them know in the chat, okay? So that way everybody can keep up. And if you're new here, welcome. We have to speak in code because that's something that we do to protect the account, okay? And to protect the page. But yes, I was like, do y'all understand like what a nuisance you have to be to get arrested for public intoxication? Drunk people are out and about all the time. You know what I'm saying? They just get tipsy. They had a little drinks. They feeling good, whatever. They out walking around, bar hopping, restaurant hopping, going from here to there and everywhere. Okay. So you know when somebody get drunk and they get to cutting up real bad, you got to be doing the most to get arrested for public intoxication. And then you turned around and you got drunk and you was urinating in public. So long story long, he been hitting this bottle for a long time, y'all. Okay. And again, the Atlantic journalist said, baby, sue who you want to sue, but you're not going to sue me because we tell them the truth. Okay. And we really don't give a good goddamn. All right. Also, y'all, unfortunately, 2 more scientists that are connected to NASA have passed away. Okay. This is a father and a son that both worked for NASA and they both worked in aerospace. There was a private plane crash. His name was Jones Tony Moffett, and his son's name was Andrew Moffett, and both of them passed away. James actually was in the military as well. And then his son was an engineer, and both of them were down there in Huntsville, Alabama. And y'all know, I told y'all, what's his name? Joshua LeBlanc. I talked to y'all about him. Was it yesterday or the day before? I talked to y'all about Joshua LeBlanc. He made number 12. He was from Huntsville, Alabama too, and he worked for NASA. And then I can't remember what number the lady is. Her name is Amy. She has the dark hair, the short bob, and she had started going live and she would be telling stories about being like followed and, these people that had lived in an apartment across from her and, were always telling her, following her boyfriend, all these other sorts of types of things. And so anyway, she was down there in Huntsville too. Okay. So yeah, it's 15 now. James and Andrew made 14 and 15. So yeah. And Joshua is the one that they found burned up in his Tesla. They definitely are not. They definitely are not, Tika. Like I said, I have my suspicions of why they're getting rid of them. And I also went down the rabbit hole and I found out that they're having this issue with a group of scientists in China as well. T-Mom, thank you so much for my market love. So I don't know where they're supposed to go to be safe, but to the other scientists that were working on that project, like I hope that you are covered. I hope that you are protected. I honestly think all of us need to be praying for them. I don't know if there's anywhere that they would be able to hide here in America. I honestly think they may need to leave and go to another country. Like I'm not even being dramatic. Maybe they need to go to Costa Rica or something. Maybe they need to go to the Bahamas. I just feel like they got to get away and go somewhere where they can be anonymous, grow out your hair, get a mustache and a beard or something, some glasses. I don't know. I just think they got to get out of here, and I think they got to hide out. And I know that that's really extreme, but I mean, this is an extreme situation. They keep getting clipped left and right. And a lot of them at this point, they're all getting online and they're making public statements and saying, I'm not, I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to harm myself. I love my life. I love my family. I love being alive on the planet Earth, because they're clearly being hunted down and picked off one by one. And so, you say it's too small to hide in the Bahamas. Well, I don't know. Maybe they need to go. They can't go nowhere to the Middle East because the Middle East works with America. You know what I'm saying? I guess they can go to Iraq or go to Iran or something, but they got to get up out of America. I'm telling you that they got to get up out of America, because it's not safe for them here, clearly. And the last four of them, these are all recent within the last, you said South Africa, baby, maybe Brazil. Okay. Maybe they need to go to a BRICS nation. I can see them going to a BRICS nation, but they got to get up out of here. They got to get up out of here. And I'm gonna try and tell you what I think that they're working on. For entertainment purposes, allegedly, y'all work the comments, okay? And share, invite, work the comments, all that, okay? I believe that they know something about healing, where people would like sickness or disease would no longer be an issue. So that's going to take away a lot of funding in Munyon and Mula. And I also believe that they know about energy and it being no cost, and it being very clean and non-harmful for entertainment purposes. And when you look at the powers that be, and you start thinking about a capitalistic society and how one of the ways our country is in leadership and became a superpower is tied to energy, I strongly feel like what they have going on has a lot to do with that. Blink, blink, blink. And that's all I'm going to say. Allegedly. Allegedly. I feel like all of them need to make statements and be like, I love my life. I don't want to harm myself. And I think they need to get some bags and get up out of here. Okay. I don't know if they need to get on a boat, a plane, a train, a skateboard. Somebody need to take them through the Underground Railroad, so they can go to Canada and then fly to Canada, to wherever else they need to go. But y'all see what's happening, right? Y'all see what's happening. I'm just saying it's clearly not safe for them in America. Not at all. Okay. Anyway, so y'all pray for them, pray for their families. Let's see. Oh, it's not this is wild. This is a wild story. It's funny, but I'm sure it's not real. Does not find it funny. So y'all know, basically, the companies were coming out, the defense companies, they were like, yeah, pretty much anybody that's involved in this conflict in the Iran war, they're reaching out to us because they're running out of munitions. And y'all know this hasn't been a secret. And they've been talking about how many munitions Big Orange, excuse me, has blown through, right? So, um, It's Not Real purchased $200 million of munitions. Okay. There's this group, it's called the People Against Genocide. The People Against Genocide found out that It's Not Real had purchased all these munitions. They got up on the roof of the company that Is Not Real had purchased the munitions for, and they broke into the clean room. Okay. If any of y'all have ever studied like higher level biology and stuff like that, or anything with like physics, chemists, labs, like the clean room and is like super important. It's called a clean room because it's like normally almost completely sterile. Okay. You have to, suit up and everything we go in the clean room. Baby, they were very strategic. They were like, we're not going to ruin the building. They like, we're going to ruin the clean room. So now this company they're going to be like 3 months behind on the munitions. Okay, now y'all know that because I was wondering why Ned was like kind of quiet the past few days. So I guess he's trying to figure out where he gonna get some more munitions from. Okay, I guess that's what's going on. But shout out to the People Against Genocide. Okay, they climbed up on the roof, broke into the clean room, contaminated everything. Baby, they said they gonna breathe. They went in there, breathed on stuff, licked stuff, farted on stuff, urinated on stuff, pooped on stuff, threw dirt on stuff. Baby, they went in there and they contaminated everything. Okay. I don't know. They may have brought some mushrooms in there. Y'all know mushroom spores go everywhere. They went in there and they contaminated the joint, and they said, okay. They said, that's that. We're going to slow you down. So that's that. Then somebody in Iraq sent a bunch of drones to Kuwait, and Kuwait wasn't ready. Y'all know Kuwait, they had their head on the swivel and they had been ready for Iran. So they was like, okay, gotcha. Now, y'all do know that there are some Iranian backed factions in Iraq. Okay. So, baby, they said they sent them from over there. Okay. Now, he has not unalived yet, girl. We were trying to find him when he was hiding out. Then he was putting out all them AIs, but he popped back up. Okay, he is still with us on the planet Earth. Now, I will say this: I can't say well because the streets are saying that he has the big C, and they said that he had to have a surgery to get a mass removed from his butthole. That's what they had said. That's what the streets are saying. Okay. So I don't know. And then the UAE came out here crying, talking about it's gonna take us, eons and ages to repair our relationship so that we can trust Iran again. Baby, Iran don't want your trust. They don't, you talking about, so y'all can trust Iran. Iran don't trust you, and I wouldn't. Baby, y'all the op. Okay, them your cousins over there, and you'd have turned your back on your cousins for the white man. Out of control. Disrespectful. Okay? Disrespectful. So anyway, remember I told you it was a lot for today? That was all today. And that's the major stuff. Y'all know it's still a whole bunch of other stuff besides that. That's the major stuff that happened today. I told y'all it was a lot. So that's why I was like, whenever we get off of here, I got to do one more call tonight. And then I'm probably going to do 2 or 3 tomorrow. So that way, yeah, baby, that was just tonight. Okay. Now, yesterday was a crazy day too. Okay. So yesterday, first of all, Big Orange has a lot of deals in the works over in Gaza with prime beachfront property. And there will be towers and there will be resorts. Okay? Okay? That's what's going to be happening. And even before that gets done, Big Orange has earned $6 billion in the year he's been in office. That is more than all of the other presidents combined. That's more than they earn. And what's crazy is Congress, because y'all know the Republicans, they still are running the House and the Senate, right? So they got together and they're working on regulations that will create less oversight for banking. So essentially, it's going to make it easier for them to be more corrupt and move money on and steal money on. Okay. And then there's a bunch of anti money laundering regulations, and they're basically trying to ban those right now, actively. They're trying to ban those. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind that a good amount of the big beautiful bill cuts with healthcare, kind of Medicaid, Medicare, stuff like that, they go into effect July 4th, another round. So if you have Medicaid and Medicare and you need to go to the doctor, you need to make all your appointments, baby. You need to get in there because they finna cut y'all off July 4th. And it's not going to be the system, it's going to be the doctors, because they're going to be looking at what they're getting paid to service you, and they're not going to service y'all. Yeah, that's a real thing. When I was telling people about this bill like last year, and people like, shut up, who cares? Nobody cares. I'm like, y'all gonna care. You should care. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Now, for those of you that are like, well, I don't care, I have private insurance, you should care, because that means your treatments and your copays and everything are going to go up. Again, we're a community, whether y'all want to be or not. Okay. And those people, that have Medicaid and Medicare, they actually were helping to keep your prices lower, because the doctors and the medical facilities, because they're able to make a decent amount of payment for servicing people inside of that, that are using Medicaid and Medicare. And so because these doctors and nurses and hospitals, they're going to lose income from that whole group of people. That means they're going to turn around and they're going to increase the prices on you and on me. You said you work in a pharmacy and all the meds have increased. Yeah, I believe it. Right. It hurts all of us. And so it's very interesting to see people so angry and so callous towards other people, because they have Medicaid or Medicare, but different things happen in life. Like that could be you know what I'm saying? Your life can change in an instant. Literally, your life can change in a second. I've experienced that. And so you can be up, you can be down, you can be climbing out of a hole, get knocked back down. There's so many things. And I want to say this, because people are struggling to understand these things. I'm trying to think of a way to put it so it makes sense. The American people, pay taxes. So we, as a people, should absolutely have social services. So when people, mainly bitter people, hateful people, selfish people, ignorant people, and I can say ignorant, that is truth. That's an observation. Before somebody like, she always calling somebody names. It's not calling a name. It's an observation. You're ignorant of how systems work. You're ignorant of how things work. So ignorant people, red hat people, when they're like, that's the problem. People need to get up and they need to get off their butt and work. They always want something for free. It's not for free. You already paid for it. We pay for it. We absolutely, if the system was working correctly, they would be the money that's being taken in from taxes would be used to put back into this country. Infrastructure, educational systems, preventative health care, social services, mental health services, parks, recreations, programming, skill development, all vocational schools, scholarships, really good programs for like food deserts, hiring people in this country to rebuild our infrastructure, clean air programs, clean water programs, all of that stuff. It's not people like, oh, they want something for free. No, they want what they pay for. They went and they work jobs And all of us, we know when you're at work, they pull taxes right out of your check. So don't say like, oh, that people just want something for free. No, they don't want it for free. They pay for it. That's what your taxes are supposed to be used to put back into people in the country. A trophy, that was so pretty. Thank you for my star map. Thank you very much. So I just want to put that out there, and I understand very well that a lot of people, they're like new to politics, they're new to geopolitics, they're new to the economy and understanding how everything works together. Because y'all have to keep in mind that look at how many farmers voted, for what's going on. And now they're literally crying because they're going bankrupt and they're losing their equipment and they're losing their farm, right? Because they were like, oh yeah, Big Orange is we're gonna stop sending food and aid to other countries, not realizing the food and aid packages, the millions or billions of dollars, they were buying the food from American farmers to send out. And now they all sitting out here looking stupid because they ain't got nobody about the soybeans, they ain't got nobody about the beef, they ain't got nobody about the chicken, they ain't got nobody about the millet and them little what's some nutrition bricks or whatever crap they be making. They got nobody buy it now. And now they out here about to lose their family farms that's been in the family for 5 and 6 generations. So y'all think that these things don't matter and that they don't impact you, but they do every single day. And all the people that were excited, yeah, you need to kick all them people off Medicaid and Medicare because they need to go and get a job and they shouldn't want something for free. Baby, it wasn't for free. First of all, when they work, they put their money into it. A lot of people on Medicaid and Medicare actually do have jobs, right? Like, I don't know why y'all forget that there are people in America where they're making minimum wage. There are people in America right now, they're not getting paid a living wage. Do y'all know, because of the cost of living in America, a living wage right now is about $30 an hour? The average cost of an apartment is about $1,600 a month now. And when you get into larger metro cities, it's double that. So when I say talk about people being ignorant, I'm not saying it to be shady. I'm saying it because that's true. Y'all are ignorant of how systems work and how we all as a community honestly need one another. And those people in those programs actually help subsidize the prices so things were lower for those of us that were not utilizing those programs. And let's keep in mind, anything can happen to you in life. And you could go from being healthy and being able to work to not. You could go from working every day and then your company is bought out and now you're not working. I remember during the vid, there was like 5 or 6 restaurants here. The employees went to work that morning and the doors were locked. They didn't even know that the company shut down. They literally went into work and didn't have a job. They went, the door, lights off, doors locked, sign on the door like, hey, we're out of business and you're out of a job. Okay, that doesn't mean that those weren't hardworking people. They worked hard all the way up until then, and then the way that the fortunes played out for them at that time. Well, now they need to utilize some of the social services that they had paid into for the years that they were working. So it's not people wanting stuff for free. We already paid into it, and it's crazy that so many people are brainwashed to support a bunch of hateful, multi-billionaires and trillionaires that want to steal and hoard all the resources for themselves, that they will argue for them before they will argue for themselves. News flash, most people in this country, you're closer to poverty than you are to being a multi-millionaire or a multi-billionaire. And before the little group of white women get in here that want to tell me I need to be humble and blah, 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 blah. No, sis, I ain't got to be humble. And right now I'm not bragging. I'm not flexing. I'm just telling the truth. And just because y'all don't like the truth and how it makes you feel, and a lot of y'all don't like my tone and y'all don't like that I speak with passion and that I speak with authority, that doesn't make it any less true. Okay. There were Black women in my comments earlier this week saying, you're just not likable. I don't like you. I don't like your attitude. You give mean girl energy. No, I give smart girl energy. I give a girl with boundaries energy. I give energy of a woman that doesn't get pushed around. Blink, blink, blink. I give educated woman energy. And I don't have to be humble because you're insecure. Because if I talk about the things that God has allowed me to achieve in my life, then that now I got to be humble. Y'all always want a black woman to be humble. I ain't got to be humble. Because when a white woman talks about her success, when she talks about her company, when she talks about her growth, when she talks about how she had to fight and claw and climb to the top, don't nobody tell her to be humble. I said what I said. Anyway, let's continue on. And shout out to my white women that ain't like that. Okay, all of y'all not like that. Okay, all of y'all not like that. It's some good white women out there. It's white women with sense. All of them ain't like that. Same way all black people, like, all skin folk ain't kin folk. Okay, go both ways. Go both ways. Anyway, okay, let's see. Next thing. Unfortunately, y'all, there was another shooting yesterday at the Mall of Louisiana, and 10 people were injured. From what I understand at this point, two groups of people got into it. Thank you, Tofi. And they had a pew, 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 pew out with one another. And that's how all those people ended up getting injured and getting hurt. So, like I said, pray for Louisiana. Louisiana is having a really rough time right now. Okay. They're having a really rough time right now. So yeah. And then y'all, Big Orange got on Truth Social again. Somebody just really need to take his phone, honey. But he goes on these rants, and see, y'all don't see the rants because y'all are in the bed. He will like get up at 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3:15 a.m, and just start messaging crazy stuff, so he gets on and he let all of us know that he told the Navy that they can pew, 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 anything and everything. They were like, you see a speedboat, you see a large boat, you see a tanker, whatever it is. If it's Iranian, go crazy, go ham. So this is the thing. You can't sit, you said break his fingers. This is the thing. You can't sit there and say, oh, we're in a ceasefire, we're having peace talks, and we're going into negotiations. And then in the same breath, put out to the whole entire world that I told our army, I told our military to obliterate them and anything. That's not someone that wants peace. And y'all have to be, I'm going to tell y'all this. This is a piece of life advice that y'all are not asking me for. I'm going to give it to you unsolicited. And I normally don't give unsolicited life advice, but you gotta observe, y'all, and you gotta pay attention. People will say one thing and do another all day. Okay. So someone will say, I won't resolve, I won't help, but then you'll tell them, well, give me these things so I can help you, or follow these steps so you can get the help you're looking for. And they don't do it. That's because that person really didn't want resolve. That's because that person really didn't want help. You know what I'm saying? And so in this case, the current regime we have, they don't want peace. Okay. They do not want peace. They don't. Okay. They are America's being led by the nose by It's Not Real. And It's Not Real is going to keep causing chaos and havoc. And Tofi, thank you so much. Tofi, thank you. Y'all, Tofi has sent me so many beautiful gifts tonight. Thank you, Tofi. I appreciate that so much. That bouquet was beautiful. I love flowers. Y'all know I love flowers. So yeah. You said HHS, SSA is very serious. Those resources will be minimal. Those staff members are being termed or leaving on their own because of increasing demand. Exactly. So okay. Then something else that was crazy. Petey Weedy. Okay, that's the other drunkard in position. And there's probably some more drunkards and some more people on Booger Sugar in there. But for at this point, I guess we're gonna rename Tangled Eyes. I guess we're gonna rename him Pissy Patel, because that was hilarious. That was funny. But Petey Weedy at this point has fired 34 of our military officials. $34. And so yesterday he asked he asked the Army Chief of Staff, Randy George, he asked him to retire immediately. That's our most senior general, y'all. The Secretary of the Navy was the day before that, Serenity. And then he asked the Army Chief of Staff to retire yesterday, effective immediately. And then y'all remember he got rid of the Chief of Staff for the Navy. And then General Charles C.Q. Brown Jr. got rid of him. What's the admiral? What's her name? Firenchetti. What was her first name, y'all? I think it was Lisa. Firenchetti is her last name for sure, though. I'm sure I remember her last name because I said, I like her name. It's like fun to say. It has a ring to it. Firenchetti. Okay. She's on Navy. I know, y'all. This is, again, when we talk about consolidating power, what they are doing is they're going in and our military officials. Yep, he sure did. He fired the chaplain too. You're right. Anybody in the military that's in position of leadership that will say no, or I will not, you know what I mean, follow through on these orders. They're illegal. This is unconstitutional, blah, 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 blah. They're going through and they're moving them out of the way. So that way they can't really, protect the country the way that they need to. Y'all know America is supposed to be a bunch of checks and balances, and they're getting rid of the checks and the balances. And they exactly inside ops. But Big Orange said that this was what he was going to do. He said that he would put everyone in position that was loyal to him. And anybody that says no, they got to go. That's their motto. You say no, you got to go. And they're trying to move at rapid speed before the midterms because they know if we actually have a free and fair election, they know for a fact that the Dems are going to end up getting the House. And so a lot of this stuff that the Republicans have been passing, they're not going to be able to pass it anymore. They also know once the Dems get the House, they're going to start opening up investigations on the cabinet. So that's why all of them are like, oh, we have to win or we're all going to jail. They're like, we're all going to club fed. That's why they're so upset. Oh, and then y'all remember, shout out to everybody in Virginia that showed up and voted yes. So this judge that is a pocket man for Big Orange, he basically came and he said all of y'all's votes and all of the ballots were void because the temporary redistricting is unconstitutional, which is insane because if it's unconstitutional in Virginia, why isn't it unconstitutional in California? Why isn't it unconstitutional in Texas? Why isn't it unconstitutional in Arkansas, in Mississippi, in Alabama, right? Why isn't it unconstitutional in any of the other states? So of course they're going to appeal it, and I'm sure that they're going to win. But again, and then Big Orange start, truthing out that, it's fraud, and Virginia is known for fraud. And anytime you got mail-in ballots, people are cheating and blah, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. And none of that is true. Okay, none of that is true. However, that's what's going on. And then let me find this other guy, this Supreme Court Justice, John Roberts. I want to make sure I have his name. We're not giving him a nickname. Everybody put John Roberts in the chat. John Roberts in the chat. John Roberts, because you need to know. You need to know. Everybody need to know. Okay, because there's so much stuff happening. This story is like flying under the radar. And this has been in the rumor mill for a few months. Okay, and finally some journalists have brought it to light. They broke camp on it. They laid out all the proof. So John Roberts is a conservative Supreme Court justice. Okay, much like dirty Clarence. All right, we can't call Clarence because Clarence don't love us. Okay, so anyway, John Roberts has a wife. And John Roberts' wife, works with law firms. And John Roberts' wife took $20 million in commissions from these law firms. And these law firms happen to be going to the Supreme Court to argue their cases. Baby, there's a whole lot of corruption. There's a whole lot of corruption. There's a whole lot of moving and shaking. Bigly on the payroll, okay? Changing all of the laws, that are affecting us and impacting us day to day. Okay? So let's do this. There's some more stuff that happened yesterday, but those are the highlights. But I want to have some opportunity to talk to y'all because I didn't get to talk to y'all the other day because y'all know I had to run away real fast. I had client calls. So let's talk for maybe 15, 20 minutes because I still got housework I need to do. Baby, my clothes out of control. Got some melons I need to slice up and ball. Got some broccoli I need to cook. Some dishes I need to wash. Okay, I got some things I need to do so your girl can try and make it to the bed on time. Yeah, girl, I got an early morning tomorrow. I got early morning and I got to do some traveling. Okay. So I got, I got to get together and I can't stand like coming home to like a messy house or a mismanaged house. It like really bugs me really, really badly. I get that from my mama. When we was little, we be going on trips. She would like clean her way out the house. I can't handle it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Big. So yeah, so I can't, it's just when you come home, I like coming home. Like I like when the floors smell good. I like seeing everything nice and neat and organized. I like looking out at my windows and seeing my beautiful garden. You know what I'm saying? Those types of things bring me joy. They bring me peace. Also, because I record so much content, it's important to me that my home stays pretty much in order. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So because I have to record, like I have so many, y'all, L'Oreal has sent me so much stuff, but I don't know what's in the boxes. Like literally every week I get a box from L'Oreal, an unexpected box. So I have the past 3 all stacked up. I'm going to open them with y'all because I want to know what's in these boxes. Okay. I need to know. I need to know what's in the box. Okay. You love my face. I love yours back. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to put the link over here in Facebook Land and YouTube. I'm so sorry, y'all. Hold on. I got y'all. Okay. Boom. There we go. So if y'all want to pull up, y'all can pull up. There's a link. Let me pin it to the y'all didn't put up a banner today in YouTube. I just realized that. Child, see what happened when you rush? Who would want to come in after Big Orange? That's a good question. And if I'm being honest, I really feel, if I'm being honest, let's see, we require creators to disclose realistic AI-generated content to help provide context for viewers, learn more about our community guidelines on AIGC. Creators may have indicated that the content was entirely generated. Who'd have said that I'm AI and I'm live? Man, y'all some hating hoes. You hear me? Y'all are some hating hoes. I am not AI. I'm 100% real. This is crazy. Y'all know they did that last time and I was banned for like 7 or 8 days and I had the hardest time proving that I'm like real. Why would y'all do that? I know they asking y'all in those little questionnaires. I know they ain't nothing but a dirty hater. A dirty, scandalous, trashy, hating heifer. No, it's not the picture. I do pictures, graphics, maps all the time. And then let me tell you something else for you little dusty ragamuffins or whatever, because people will come in and they'll accuse me of my background being AI. It's not AI. This is my living room. Okay, it's not my fault that you don't have any style. It's not my fault, and I really feel like it's real anti-black because people will come in and they'll be like, "Oh, it's too nice." No, baby, I have style. Okay, my mother raised me correctly. Her daughters know how to put together a home. I've always lived in very nice places, even when I didn't have a lot of money. I knew how to make them look nice. Okay, but it's not an AI background. Hold on, y'all. Let me run back here and I'm literally finna go touch my picture or something because if when I end this, they ban me, I have to be able to put up proof that my environment is real. It's not. They said my whole I just read the notification that they sent me the violation. It said my whole stream entirely may be AI. It's not. It's right. They trying to stop. They always trying to find ways. Hold on, y'all. Don't go nowhere. Y'all will see me because I got to get in the camera so they can see it. Crap. Haters. Move my chair too. You right. I'm not AI. My background ain't AI. Shit. That's crazy. Anyway, hey AJ, I'm sorry. I'd got heated. I'm agitated. Agitated. Jeez Louise. Jesus. Hey Trophy.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Not you moving this chair.
I got to prove that it's not. It literally it said that I've been reported and that my stream may be entirely AI. Like what? People are such haters. Oh my gosh, people just hate. They hate too much.
This is my first time seeing you from the For You page. You're such a vibe.
Thank you.
So good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to get the information out there, and they just try, baby. They be trying to suppress our little voices. They don't want the people to know, and I'm like, I gotta keep yapping.
Yeah, you're doing the work. Look, I wanted to ask you though.
Yeah.
As a layman who's not, completely versed in, politics and such. What is the end goal? Do you think there's an end goal? Do you think they're being strategic at all, or is they just getting what they can get?
Oh, the end. Okay, which one you mean? As far as like them coming in and infiltrating and trying to take over the country, or us in the war in Iran?
No, internally infiltrating the country.
Literally to take over, to restore whiteness. There's an interview. I can't think of the guy's name right now. I'm going to have to find it because it would be worth a good listen for all of us to listen together. And he's the head of the Klan, and it was like a wizard, and it was someone else. And they, sat down, very casually speaking about their racism, but their overall goal is to restore America. They said back, to put everyone back in their proper place, and they need to preserve whiteness and preserve their homeland, and how the country is getting out of control. And so there's a big push for Big Orange because he is the person that they knew would carry out all of the wishes. Big Orange is a narcissist, and he just wants to be in power and control. That's why he's trying to put his face. I forgot to tell y'all that too. Right now they have bills that are pending. And they want to create a $250 bill with his face on it. They want to turn his birthday into a national holiday. They want to put his face on Mount Rushmore. What was the other crazy thing they wanted to do? It's something else that they want to do. But he's just obsessed with putting his name, putting his face, everywhere and on everything, and becoming immortalized. And he wants to build this giant bridge and have gold statues of him put in every state. I know it's insane, right? It's insane. It's absolutely 100% insane. And let me be clear, he's not the mastermind. There are several people behind him. And don't forget about Elonia and Peter T and all of them. They want us to have a technocracy. So the technocrats basically want to divide up America, and they want to run each section. I think they want to divide us up into 5 sections, if I'm correct. But they want to divide us up into 5 sections and basically run us all like each section like a corporation, right? And everything is about them getting money and controlling America. And they feel by controlling America, they can control the world. So you have a couple of things happening at one time. Then you have the Koch brothers, which a lot of people don't know about them or talk about them, they're on the other side. So when you think about all of the extreme evangelicals and the Seven Mountains group and all of that, that's them. And they put a lot of money and a lot of funding into Big Orange and the current regime. That's why we now have the office of, the next phase 2 of Project 2025, y'all. They're trying to get rid of freedom of religion. And Christianity will become the national religion here in America. Oh, thank you, AJ. That's so cute. Now Corky's on a vacation in a hot tub. Okay, okay, that's cute. But they're obsessed with bringing Jesus back. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm super serious. So you even have a huge amount of soldiers that are calling in and they are reporting that, they're uncomfortable because their command is like, Big Orange is divine. He's chosen by God. You're doing God's work. This is God's mission. This is what God works. But it's really crazy because I'm like, clearly they're not reading the same Bible that we read, because there's so many other things that have to happen. You can't just you just can't force the second coming of Christ, but they're trying. That's another thing that's going on. There's a mosque, and I can't say the name of it because they're gonna shut my stream down. But if y'all just Google, important religious sites and spaces in the Middle East, Is Not Real wants to destroy that particular mosque. And if you get familiar with the Bible, there's a sequence of events and wars and stuff like that happen once that task is done. So basically you have 3 large groups that are fighting for control and power, and they're all trying to use Big Orange to further their agenda. So you got all of them unleashing this on us, and then they're all kind of having like their own internal battle behind the scenes. Crazy.
Oh my God, it's a lot happening.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
There's a lot going
it's
on.
Great. This is the thing about religious fanaticals, and they're so, oh my God, y'all, they just gave me a visibility restriction. Anyway, y'all work the comments and tap the screen, god dang it. This is the thing about, and I didn't even say the name of the mosque. I just said mosque. But anyway, this is the thing about the religious fanatics. Okay, this is the thing about them. They are so crazy. You know what I mean? Y'all know how they try and call people from other countries terrorists and stuff. They are the true terrorists. And they're scarier because they're like, oh, I'm doing it in the name of God. And I'm like, stop putting God in your mess. God has nothing to do at all with what y'all are doing. And they also believe that white Christian men should run everything. And they've stated this. And they have talked about specifically, y'all know they got beef with black men. They're specifically that black men are not smart enough to run anything. And we know that that's not true. They're extremely, and it's really interesting seeing people of color trying to align with these particular white people, because it doesn't matter what they do, they're never going to be good enough. And they'll put them in a little position to use them momentarily, right, to get done whatever they need to get done. But you're a token, and you're always going to get spent at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's a lot going on, Trophy. So we got the primary groups though that are winning right now. You got the Tech Bros, right? Which I will be honest, Peter Thiel is kind of goes in the group with the religious fanatics. So he may end up reaching out across the aisle and partnering up with them to get done what they want to get done. I'm not sure. And then you got the people that are trying to force the second coming of Christ, because they all think that they're going to go to heaven.
Oh my God. Now, wait, is this I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but is this a show? Do you go live every day? It's a lot.
Okay, so I don't go live every day. I try and go live at least 2 days a week. Normally Mondays and Wednesdays are the days that I try and go live. Back in the day, I used to go live every day. If I can get my schedule together enough, get some stuff off my plate, I probably would be able to start going back live every day. I would like to do maybe educational content on Tuesday and Thursday, or maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday or something is educational content. And then the other days we just get on and do news and, and chit chat or whatnot. But Wednesday, pretty much, unless some emergency happens or, I got travel or something that gets in the way, I'm pretty much live on Wednesdays. And I'm going to try and get my schedule together where I can start going live at least twice a day on Wednesdays.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna be tuning in. You are brilliant. It's like, oh my God, it's like, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My goal is to make all this stuff easy to understand. That way we're empowered, because part of the reason they've been able to do what they've been able to do is because so many people, they make things very complex, and they do it intentionally because it's a way to keep people out.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have a couple questions too.
Hey girl. Hey Star.
So I heard that they opened up 63 police cities and they have camps where they have giant burn facilities.
Say allegedly.
Allegedly
for entertainment purposes only. Trophy. But for entertainment purposes, I'm going to say that you're not wrong.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what would be?
And I reported. Y'all, what was that? Was that a few months ago? I started telling people about the incineraries that they were purchasing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for entertainment purposes only, apparently the Department of the Navy is the ones that's receiving funding for it. So
who would be
the target?
It's not them entirely that's receiving funding. What they did is he pulled people from every group, and so it's going to be local, state, and federal, and we're going to call them stormtroopers.
And they already touched ground.
Right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And the purpose is Big Orange and the current regime. They want to have their own military, so that way they can exercise control and power over us, right? You got to be able to keep everybody in line. You got to be able to keep everybody in check. And so initially when I talked about, them using immigration, as, we're just going to get the illegals out. We're going to get those, dirty Mexicans out, and those dirty Haitians and all that other kind of crap that they were on. I was telling people, one, we don't have enough immigrants in for the amount of people that they're saying that they want to deport. Number two, the immigrants that we have that were in America, most of them are not criminals. Most of the crime that's being committed in America is from other Americans, and specifically Americans, right? But this is a way to get people on board. And then all of a sudden you start moving from the dirty immigrant criminals, even though they're arresting people that aren't criminals, that haven't done anything wrong, to, well, now we just need to use this for all criminals, right? And now if I don't like you because you're black or you're brown or you're a woman or you're too mouthy or you speak about my administration in a way that I don't like, I can deem you a criminal. I can deem you as unpatriotic. I can deem you as trying to, what do they call it? Inciting terroristic ideas or some crazy stuff that they came up with. I can label you on that, and now you're a criminal, and I can have the stormtroopers pick you up. You see what I'm saying? It's a progression that they've put in place, and they are the people that get to control who is what. Now imagine the irony of someone who is a whole rapist in a PDF file coming out telling regular people that they in fact are criminals. Okay. Now on top of that, keep in mind, we're bleeding money left and right now as a country, that a lot of the immigrants that were here and they were working, they did not get to participate in our social services, but they had to pay in. So when you have they would have an I-10, that's basically their identification number. And so they were getting paid checks. However, there were still taxes being taken out of the checks, and that money went into like Social Security and stuff like that. But they didn't get to partake in those programs. So that's billions of dollars we lost as well. Child. There's billions of dollars that we lost as well. You see what I'm saying? But there are so many people in America that are filled with hate. So many people in America that are filled with hate. They didn't care. They were cool, cutting off their own nose, as long as it meant somebody else that they didn't like couldn't have something. And they didn't realize not only were you cutting off your own nose, you made life harder for your parents, you made life harder for your children, you made life harder for your grandchildren, right? You made life harder for your neighbors, you made life harder for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also saw that post about I just want to, for whoever is listening, I also saw that post about the alien breeding alleged thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And allegedly for entertainment purposes, a couple weeks after that, it came out in the news that little girls are getting pregnant. So, and they're being separated from their families between the ages of 13 and 18 years old.
Lord Jesus.
So,
yeah. It's so much wickedness, so much debauchery, so just so many things that are like, on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other. It's like you almost don't know where, to look. But my hope is that the people, America, can get past the hate and understand that as a collective, we have a lot of power and we really can create a society that's nice for everyone. And one of the first steps in that is withholding the money that we have from these big corporations and brands, and only shopping with small business owners. Or if you shop with a big company, it needs to be a big company that aligns, with the morals and the values and the direction you like to see the country move in. I told people if we would right in January, when all this stuff was going down and they started talking about the big, beautiful bill and all that stuff, before it even went up for a vote to pass, if everybody would have stopped spending for like that 30 days before that, baby, that issue wouldn't have passed because them people would have been shaking in their boots. So people here are just, I don't want to be inconvenienced. That's really what it is. You have a lot of citizens. I don't want to unsubscribe from Amazon Prime. You know what I'm saying? Because I like getting my stuff in a day. I don't want to wait 4 or 5 days, right? But at the same token, these will be the same people crying when their light bill is $500 this summer.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts about specifically the transition from physical currency to electric currency?
I'm a big advocate of crypto. I think everybody needs a little crypto in their portfolio and in their wallet. I do. That America is trying to make sure that we're in leadership position in that area due to the fact they're trying to hedge that if the world stops using the petrodollar, then they can convert things quickly over to the crypto world. That's what they're working on. Now, this is the thing with that, because the banks are buying tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of crypto and altcoins all the time, right? You said which ones? I'd have told y'all before, and I can't say them. I'd have got too many violations tonight. Ask one of my clients that's in my Instacorn Academy. They'll tell you, because I'm going to put up a new list too of what we've been buying. So this is going to be the issue. You have so many Americans that do not own any altcoins, that don't own any crypto. They're probably going to create a system and they say, well, we'll take the money in your bank account and convert it to this, and you can start moving and operating. But now it's going to make it really, really challenging for people to be able to accumulate wealth.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about the tracking purposes? Plus, on top of that,
I mean, they're already tracking us anyway. So I know people be like, when you look at the blockchain, like everything is transparent and open, but at the end of the day, they're tracking all of us anyway. So when people talk about that, I be like, I don't care. And they be like, what do you mean you don't care? I'm like, they all in our business anyway. Your phone listens to you, your TV listens to you, your laptop listens to you, your tablet listens to you. They can geo-ping your locations. I won't put my business out there, but like my baby daddy, worked for the White House at one point in time because he's really, really good at what he did. And I'm going to tell you this, anybody that's using a cell phone, they can find out where you are and they can find out where you were at. And because your phone is sending out pings all the time. And it don't take a long time for the people that have that skill. It don't take a long time at all for them to find you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So when we get to, you said find your troll. So when we get into being tracked, it's already happening, right? Like even look at Cash App. Y'all don't remember when that the Cash App owner, and then all of a sudden the government was like, oh, we're gonna take over and do this and this and that. And now all of a sudden, they're monitoring all of the transactions that everybody's sending in and out of Cash App.
I don't even remember that happening. This is new information.
Yeah. Oh yeah, girl. A lot of them crypto kings was getting clipped a few years ago. A lot of mysterious deaths, car accidents, plane crashes. They was getting online. I'm not trying to hurt myself, harm myself, blah 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 blah. Yep, back to back to back, baby. They took them right on up out of here because they were in the way of the government.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like I think there's a large amount of cognitive dissonance that happens for the average American, and they shut down, when we're having these conversations. Clearly, we're all in here. So we're people that can say, this is the truth and I accept it. And what are my steps, right, to take so I can strategize. But for a lot of people, they just don't want to process it. And it's hard for them to accept that America is not the good guy. You know what I'm saying?
Black America never been a good guy.
Right. That's what I said. For us, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, you see that stuff going viral on TikTok right now, and they're like, how are Black Americans, like, how they completely stepped away, how they happy, blah 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 blah. Because we let go and let God. We've been Black our whole life in this country. We've seen this stuff happen to our parents, our grandparents, our siblings. We've experienced these things happening to us. So for us, right, they didn't believe it, but we already knew what it was. So we just like, shoot, it's just another day.
Yeah, then on top of that, I think a lot of Americans seem to forget that when we needed help, they laughed at us.
Yep.
And now that everybody needs help, we've been asking for help. So when it comes to that, at the very least.
Yeah. Oh, I want to throw something out there. Nobody asked me this, but I do. Hey, Royal Calypso. I want to throw this out there. Y'all be careful with them using the trans community to spar up disdain or hatred in you, because what they have started doing, and they've been doing this for a while. And this part of the reason they won the election, because they were like trans in the bathroom, trans in sports, trans this, trans that. And you had a lot of, I'm just going to say it, dummies that had melanin in their skin. And because I don't want a trans person to have this. I don't want a trans person to do that. I don't want a trans person to do XYZ element of P, right? So they were like, the red hats are the party of God. Not at all. Let's be clear. Like, right. But when we just talking about numbers, right? There's only somewhere in between 1% to 3% of the entire population that are trans. There's not a secret, a secret army of trans men and women that are going to ascend on you and force you and your children, you know what I mean, to become trans. It's a very strange concept. And they'll throw things out there like that, right, to one issue voters, and they're like, okay, well, I'm voting. I don't want the trans people to have, medical support. I don't want them to have insurance to be able, to transition. I don't want them to be giving kids surgeries. Ain't no kids getting surgeries to transition. It's just some crap that they made up, right? And even if it were, it wouldn't be a whole bunch of kids. So now you want your children, yourself, and millions of other children to not have health insurance because you wanted to keep 222 people from doing something that they're not doing anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to warn y'all, because you're going to see more and more of that as we get closer to the midterms, because they know that there's an emotional or a hot button issue for people. Because I'm just going to call a thing a thing. There are a lot of people that are homophobic and they're transphobic, and they want a group of people to hate, and they don't realize that them they don't realize that they don't realize that as a Black person, you trying to marginalize another group of people like that, you're practicing in white supremacy. The same thing that white people do to us, I see Black people trying to do that to people in the trans community, and it's not okay. And I would encourage y'all to look within yourself and really start exploring, like, why do you have those thoughts? Why do you have those ideations? Why do you have so much pent up hate and aggression for a group of people that are trying to live their lives, and to the point that you are supporting a P3DEO, because tons of these red hats are getting caught up, right, doing nefarious things to children. Y'all are supporting rapists. A lot of these red hat men, they have charges on them. Okay, why are you so okay supporting that? Because you just don't like the idea. Like, I remember, hearing women talking about they didn't want a trans, woman in the bathroom with them. Well, newsflash, it's probably already been trans women in the bathroom with you. You know what I'm saying? And they're not in there trying to bother anyone. And the way women's restrooms are set up, right? Like, they're in their individual stalls. So what? This is the thing. Even if you wanted trans people to have their own bathroom, okay, well, let's get through the bigger issue to make sure everyone as a whole, the majority, is taken care of, and then we can go back later and sort out that issue. You see what I'm saying? Like, so like, y'all gotta be careful, because there were people voting based off of these arbitrary issues and them blowing up a whole thing. It's the same thing like when it gets into abortions. And a lot of women have uteruses, have vaginas, have ovaries, right? You got all of the parts and don't even understand how your reproductive health works, and don't even understand that there's a multitude of things that can happen to you as a woman that will be qualified under abortion care. But because you don't like the word abortion, and because it gives you an emotional feeling, there y'all were running off with, this is the party of God, and I gotta vote for them, blah blah blah, XYZ element of P over here because of this and that. So that's the only thing that I would caution y'all with. Just be very careful to not just be careful to not get caught up in hating another group of people so much that you turn around and you hurt yourself, because that's what a lot of people did in November. They voted for things specifically, to try and keep another group of people from getting something or having something, and turn around, now you're the person without it. Y'all got to do the math. Okay. When you do the math, it don't make sense. Okay. It's not as big of an issue as they think. Like, I'll share this with y'all. I don't care. I'll tell everybody. So I had a mass on they thought it was on my left ovary, but it ended up being my right ovary. So my ovaries were crisscrossed. Oh, girl, it's no problem. I've run a panel. People can jump in. They just unmute and jump in when they want to. Because don't nobody be over here acting a fool. But my ovaries were crisscrossed, y'all. This is a few years ago, and I had a mass on one of them, and they thought they were going to have to give me a partial hysterectomy. So anyway, I prayed and prayed and prayed and researched and found a doctor that's good at that particular procedure, and had the mass taken off, and then they, put my ovaries back. They had been crisscrossed my whole life. I had no idea. But anyway, so now they're back where they're supposed to be. But that falls under abortion care. And because the way they've changed the laws, there are women that need procedures like this, and the doctors are afraid to perform the procedures. Y'all do know women get ectopic pregnancies, right? So you're just supposed to go home and bleed out, because that falls under abortion care. There's a woman, she was going viral probably like a month ago. It was a white lady. She talked about how she had voted for Big Orange and all of that. And long story long, her baby's going to be born stillborn, and is going to be sick, and is going to end up making her septic, and she can't get the abortion that she needs, because all the doctors in her state, they won't do it, and they are afraid to do it because of the laws. You see what I'm saying? So there's so many things, you know what I mean, that when we get into reproductive care for women, that there's so many things when we get into reproductive care for women, and just understanding your body and how things are classified and the different risks and things that can happen. that you have to educate yourself. So now you have so many women that are going to be at risk. You have so many women that have already died. You know what I mean? At this point, you have these crazy red states. They're trying to pass laws where women that get abortions are having larger sentences and larger penalties than men who are rapists and P3 DEOs and murderers. That's crazy. That's insane. And whenever we think about women that already have children and you're carrying around a dead baby now inside of your stomach, and now your body is becoming septic, right? So you're going to go into shock. So now you're going to leave your children motherless, the children that you already have. So people have to think about things like this. And I also want to throw this out here too. Single women aren't the only people to get abortions. There are married couples that do it too because of the finances. They feel like we don't have the money to afford, to bring another life into the world responsibly. So I just want to really, warn y'all when they're throwing things out here that are highly emotionally charged, that y'all just take a little time to think about it and go and do some research and find out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is really involved in this and what does this entail?
I have one more thing before I really sign off.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring to everybody's awareness that part of the reason that, allegedly for entertainment purposes, part of the reason that farmers voted for Big Orange was because they have been having issues maintaining their workers, and they've been coming from Mexico to these farms through contracts. And he told them that in order to bypass the contracts, which would allow them to enslave these Mexicans, he would take away certain policies because they were practicing slavery. And Sleepy Joe basically implemented about 2 to 3 laws that prevented slavery. So if they were seen practicing slavery by following certain guidelines, they would no longer be able to get contracts with these people.
Those things are true. And the thing is, the gag is, though, he didn't tell them that they weren't gonna have a farm to practice on no more. That's the gag. That's the gag. You're correct in what you're saying, but the gag is like, it's this old song. They be like, don't let the what they say, don't let the devil in. It's a song, but it's a whole story about this guy, the devil. He let the devil in the car. He like, you let the devil in. The devil ask him a question, and he like, don't let the devil do that, because then the devil gonna want to drive. Then you let the devil drive, you end up going to hell. But this is the thing, right? I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, kind of like a genie, right? But on the other hand, yeah, you'll be able to do that. But I also didn't tell you wasn't gonna have a farm to do it on anymore, because the VP Vance Pants is going to come through and buy your land for pennies on a dollar and then rent it back to you and make you a laborer of something you used to own.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what, guys? I have fell on, like, I don't know how I got on Farmer TikTok before the Big E happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking like they thought that Black people were going to come back and
yes,
work on them,
that was
work
crazy.
on their farms. Like, you know what? I don't know who you thought
okay
was going to come back and work in those fields. You're going to be working in your doggone self. But they asked for what they got. My thing is, how you see what happened the first term he had to bail y'all out, and y'all still voted for him again. You want exactly what you got because you didn't learn that first term.
Yeah, there's a Chinese parable, and it talks about basically a tree that voted for the axe, and that's exactly what this is in this situation. We have a lot of trees in this country, and they voted for the axe.
Yep, exactly.
Now they all crying because they're getting chopped down left and right.
Yeah, and like, I just came in on you guys talking about AV rights and things like those things are part of women healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many women who voted for this, and then they found out by their circumstance, I need a DNC.
Yep.
Or my pregnancy was not viable. This child would never survive birth. And if I continue to carry this child to term, it will cause me to have a risk to my life.
Mhm.
So I need to protect myself, my family. I have children. I have a husband. And we just need to do it again. But now I can't because I have to go to the next state or 2 states over to have the procedure done because now it's illegal in my state. But you
Mhm.
voted for this.
Exactly. And you'll see them online crying and they're like, this isn't what I voted for. And I'm like, this is exactly what you voted for. You just never thought that you would be in the position to have to do it. And that's why I urge and I implore, women, minorities, and specifically like Black people, when they throw this stuff out there, you got to really do some research, because that's what I say. There's so many women that are unfamiliar with what our reproductive care is coded under, right? When I had to get that mass taken off of my ovaries or whatever, that's under AB care. And you have women out here voting against it, right? You have women that aren't going to be able to get the proper medications. They're not going to be able to get the proper preventative care. You already have insurances dropping it down to where you only get a pap smear. They only have to cover it like once every other year now, which is crazy, right? Because if you have an abnormal pap smear or you have something that's wrong, right, that could grow into maybe cervical cancer or something like that, well, it's more than likely it's going to grow into it now because you weren't able to get your annuals to take care of yourself, where we could have nipped it in the bud before it even grew into something large.
Right. And the other thing I want to point out is to be careful, especially with mothers, Black mothers. I don't know if you heard about that family in Texas where they had twins and then they took one of the twins, and I don't know how the daughter ended up passing.
Oh, no.
And they took her organs, and they didn't know about it until the father went to the funeral home and they told them. It was a whole big story. I don't know if you heard about it, but
no, that's terrible.
It was crazy. It was like, because I seen it, they were protesting, and I seen like a clip, and they were outside protesting because the doctors were telling them about their daughters. And then later on, the daughter, she ended up passing away.
Oh,
and then
that's terrible.
A whole bunch of other stuff, but it was real. So please, I don't know what they did in that case, but we be targeted.
Yeah, there's a lot, because the last thing I saw was the lady, and she was on camera, and the judge was trying to force her to have a C-section, and I was like, this is some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen before in my life. And then I saw another video probably about a week and a half ago. The mother was in the process of giving birth. The husband wasn't there yet. He was coming from wherever he was. I think he was worked out of town or something. And she had her midwife and her doula there, and the nurses were trying to put them out.
I seen a woman that was in the court with the judge while she was in the bed. Mm-hmm. I was so proud of her because she advocated for herself. Let them know, me being Black is an issue. It is a factor, and it needs to be taken into account because people don't take into account the different levels of threat and need that a Black woman has. That's very important. She really advocated for herself. So I was clap it up for her.
She did. And, hey, her next era, any of y'all, LaDonna, all of that. I don't run a panel where people have to wait. We just have conversation over here. We're a bunch of classy gals and guys, so we know how to have conversation, everybody jumping in and out. We typically don't have fights and arguments. And if I get somebody with crazy energy, I'll just give them the boot. I'm like, get up. I
was like, she was being rude. No, you're not gonna come and talk over.
Yeah, she was trying to do the most. But so if we get somebody in here that's a little weird, babe, we just get them on out of here. But y'all can just jump in, at any time. It's not. I know it's a little dicey out here in these TikTok streets, but it ain't like that over here. We be cool. Hey, David, thank you for gifting my panel, honey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Well, I just wanted to come in and say it's a pleasure to be on your live. I watch you all the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
in the background. No worries. I believe that what you're doing here is amazing. And I think that you should continue to get the word out there. I've learned so much dropping into your lives, from business to politics. When you come on at night and be like, I pick up the phone, it's your daily little news. I'll be like, hold on, what you got to say? What you about to tell us today? But what I wanted to do was jump in on this portion of the conversation, because that is one thing that drove me nuts this election cycle. Was I had people so close and dear to me that I was like, oh my God, you mean to tell me you rather vote for this man over some fake procedure? And this is what I was told. Oh, well, I see it on YouTube that there's this procedure where they take a baby out and then they destroy it. And I don't understand why they can't just take the baby out whole and then give it to somebody that late in the term. And I was like, are you serious? Like, where has that happened?
It's not happening.
And they were like, oh, I don't know where it's happening. I just seen it. I'm saying, so you're going to vote for him off of this make-believe procedure that could possibly happen that's not happening, all because you feel some type of way about this, but yet and still you chose to terminate your pregnancy because you didn't want to do that with your husband.
Now, wait a minute. Not a pot out here, not a pot, and she was out here being a pot, baby. That's what. So she done ran and got hers, but don't want nobody else to get theirs.
Don't want nobody to get theirs. And honestly, when I really evaluate it, it comes down to internalized misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of those girls who kind of grew up with a more stern Air Force or military father, turned bishop. You know, like she just deals with that. But at the same time, it's like, did you tell your daddy that you weren't ran off to a safe state to go get what you need to get done?
And probably didn't.
And probably didn't. But at the same time, you're out here shaming people who do it for whatever reason that they have, but you don't want nobody to say anything about the reason why you chose to. And now we're in this predicament. And what y'all don't see is that it's them against us.
Mm-hmm. But most of the time, that's how it is. I mean, look at all of the red hats. You know, their husbands out here doing all this weird kink stuff and freaky stuff, and every time they have like conferences or summits, like they shut the Grindr app down, and all of it. A lot of it is internalized hatred. A lot of it.
With Chris Gnome husband.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
The bimbo.
Yo, did y'all see the Lego video on that one?
Yes.
No.
It was crazy.
I live for those Lego videos. They be cracking me up.
Let's see. Do Gooder says, I'm going to put on my Christian hat and say, when people get stuck on trans and this and that, but ignore fornication, okay, kiki adultery, and sexual sin, and sinners need saving and salvation. Period. That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, let's talk about Johnson, how he living with his pastor in DC, but his wife's back home in Louisiana. Blink, blink, blink.
Okay, baby, that was a while. When I seen that, I said, "Baby, you got to be kidding me." I said, "This is my thing." I know it's gonna sound crazy to people, and I know people are not gonna agree with me, and that's fine. They don't have to. I'm just ready for people to get to the point where they would just live their truth. Like, if you are gay, be gay. It's not like it was back in the day. Like, no one's gonna stone you. You know what I'm saying? Get out here and be gay and be free. Okay. If you bi, you come out here and you be bi. If you trans, you be trans. Whatever you need, whoever you are, I want people to be comfortable enough to come out and be them, because a lot of this violence and crazy stuff that's going on would stop. It would stop. You know what I mean? Like, if people would just be free, be yourself. Be free. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. I want people to be whoever they are. Like, you know, I mean, if you're a P3 DEO, you know, we need to lock them up. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying? Things that when it comes to, you know, sexual preferences, and we're dealing with consenting adults. Okay, if you want to be a cross-dresser, be a cross-dresser. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a lady boy, be a lady boy. Be you. Like, life would be so much easier. And I think a lot of the men that are DL and pretending, they would be surprised that there's quite a few women that would be happy to sign up for a lavender marriage. They would be
Exactly.
they would be quite they'd be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yes,
It
indeed.
would be. And the thing is, I think really what the motivating thing is behind all that hatred is jealousy. Because they jealous of those people who do operate authentically and who they are, because they can do that and they can't. They continue to hide their sexual preferences from their family, from their politics, from everything in their life that they built themselves up.
Mhm.
It's not aligning with who they are, and they jealous that somebody can actually be free to be who they are. And that's why they hate them so much.
Yes, indeed.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm
That's
laughing
why
at I'm laughing at David in the comments. David's like, that's what a lavender marriage is. Yes, David. A lavender marriage is when a gay man gets a wife, okay? And the wife is very happy, okay? She gets treated well, you know what I'm saying? She normally lives very well. She has somebody that cares about her hair and her outfits and her grooming and they'll spend that money because they want that girl to look good, you know what I'm saying? And then they can then they can go out and be a happy couple. You got somebody on dates, little trips with and stuff like that. And then she knows, he goes and he does his little thing. But it's ain't no one's fooling anyone, okay? There are also several women they're not going to admit it, but there are a lot of women they'll be with a bisexual man. There are. If people would just be honest. There's a what is this? I can't think of his name. He is hilarious. He's a light-skinned guy. He's a truck driver. He tells the wildest stories. And he had said something about wanting a girlfriend. Like he's bi, he's very open about his sexuality. And he was like, y'all were in the comments talking about lavender marriage. He's like, no, I want women. I want to be up in it. He talked about he want a woman. He, want to put his face in after she's been walking around all day marinating. I was like, I said, okay. I was like, all right, now get to it. He was like, he said, no, I want the cooch. Okay. He like both. And guess what? Because he's open and honest. And I do think he treats his women really well. And there was some woman in the comments. She was like, well, a perfect relationship for me is to have, 2 men and 1 me. You know what I'm saying? And then there were so many women underneath there. They were like, yeah, that's my idea too. So if people would just be honest and be themselves, 9 times out of 10, you could find someone who is with the ish that you're with. you know what I'm saying?
If you let them know what it is.
If you let them know what it is, there are people, I promise you, they will be with your ish. They will say, you know what? I like that too. Or I like you enough that I'm cool with it. I'm fine.
I ain't never thought about that, but I'll try it with you.
Yeah, they're and that's why I was like, I just want people to get to the point where they will be honest and stop all of the sneaking and creeping, because that's where a lot of this hateful stuff is coming from, is people trying to keep up an image that they feel like is societally acceptable.
And if people would just mind their business, I don't care.
Well, girl, that ain't never gonna stop. Getting people to mind their business now. People gonna be in other people's business all the time.
My cousin voted for the orange thing, and she was mad about transsexuals and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what's going to impact your life? The things that transsexuals do, or the other policies and all the other things that we've been talking about? So many different things. All these other things that he would do that would impact your life over a transsexual policy. That's the one thing that you're gonna vote on.
Yeah, single issues, and then they don't realize what else is tied up with the things, because most of the melanated people that I know that are red hatters or they voted for Big Orange, it was that, or the AB thing, or they have an extreme hatred for immigrants, and they really believe that people, were here taking something away from them. And I was like, this is the thing. If you have, let's say this is not, let's be clear. What I'm about to say is not true, y'all. It's not true at all. I need y'all to understand, I don't believe this. This is just for the sake of argument. Let's say that they were right, and you do have, 10,000, 15,000 immigrants over here, Haitians and Mexicans, and they getting $1,000 a month in food stamps, and, they living in government housing and XYZ elemental P. This is the thing. Is it stopping you or anyone else here from also getting their food stamps and their housing?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? It's not stopping. And then you so pressed about it, but I'm like, you don't get food stamps, you don't get housing. Why are you mad? Why are you so mad? Why are you
And
so
you know
mad
what?
about it?
Them be the ones I'm like, I can tell you don't get those, because if you ever at any point in your life had to apply for them programs, what's the number one question they ask you? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Right.
Or do you have citizenship? Or
Mhm.
are you naturalized?
Yep.
You have to prove your legality to qualify for those programs. So that whole argument goes out the door.
Well,
Yeah.
no, that's not necessarily true. When Sleepy Joe was in office, I was in the military up in Chicago, and one thing they did was when they had those big influx of immigrants coming in, they lowered the amount of money that you could make to qualify for these things, and they made it harder for working class Americans to receive those benefits, but they gave it to the illegal immigrants that just came here. Like they opened up
Oh, that's not true. It
But
didn't.
that's what happened
But it's
over
not.
there.
But that's not true. It didn't make it harder for any working class American or recipient to get resources that they needed. That part's
Well,
not true.
there was a lot of people that I knew personally that qualified 1 month, and then they were told that they didn't qualify the month after that.
That's because the system went through and they started doing audits, and that wasn't just in that area. Our government has an issue with spending more than what they're bringing in. So at one point they started looking to bring in money from everywhere. That's also the time that you started seeing more companies, small business owners being audited, specifically small business owners that were making under $100,000 a year, because they knew that those business owners didn't have the resources to hire tax compliance specialists, which is much different than a tax preparer, a CPA, or an accountant. And so there were lots of things at that time they just started doing because they were looking to pull money from everywhere. Because you also remember that's when Sleepy Joe hired all those additional IRS agents.
And then the fact that a lot of that funding was, residual from COVID, because there was more money put in during Biden for those programs to offset everything that happened with COVID. So now that COVID's over, they're going back and reassessing those people. And a lot of people have gotten kicked off of Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this because I do Medicare. I do this all day. And it's been a lot of people that have lost their Medicare plan, their dual plan, because they don't have the Medicaid anymore, because those qualifications have changed, because the leniency from COVID has now
expired. Yeah. It had nothing to do with immigrants coming in and taking anything from anybody.
Right.
It literally they were trying to find ways to bring more money into the country.
And again, those people still have to qualify with their legality. So they still have to prove it though.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still work and pay taxes.
Yep.
They contribute to our society en masse.
Yep.
And don't
get to take out of it.
Right, exactly. So you up here having a BF for people that are contributing to our society, and they actually are the people who will be targeted, because if somebody gonna get robbed, it's gonna be them, because they don't have a bank to bank with. They get paid under the table. They go to a cash checking and they get their money. They don't have a place to put it, so they know they're an easy mark. And they're not gonna call the po because they're not supposed to be here. So they the best.
And taxes will still be taken out of their checks. So we lost billions. So we lost billions of dollars going. We lost billions of dollars going into our system under all these shenanigans.
But they are paying more into our system because they're terrified, because they don't know what's going on. So they pay more into our system. They pay more because they're afraid. And I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
If they're doing things legally.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
By the book.
Because they don't want any attention.
They don't want no attention put on them. They trying to lay low. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, that whole concept of these people are taking something away from Americans is nuts. And let's be clear too, well, people be on this bull crap. I don't know any Americans that want to go pick potatoes or strawberries I don't know any
Wow.
Americans that want to sign up, you know, to do the housekeeping at the hotels. I travel a lot for work, y'all, and I'm not trying to be funny. In the past 10 years, I personally haven't had an American housekeeping or cleaning person. And I've stayed in almost all 50 states. These are not so they weren't taking anything away from American citizens. A lot of times they work the jobs that American citizens don't want to work.
Uh-huh. And then if you're gonna be mad about that, you should be mad about the fact that America Give is
It's not real. Come on now.
insurance.
Okay,
That
look.
they-
And free healthcare and free education. Now with
Yes,
that being said, I got to go because I don't want the account to get banned, because anytime we talk about
Okay.
them people, I
I'm
get banned.
sorry.
It's okay, baby. And we call them It's Not Real over here, but you're absolutely 100% true. I love all of y'all. Thank you everybody who came. I got to go. And if y'all don't see me in a few days, y'all know what happened, okay? Love y'all. Bye. All right, y'all. We're going to call it a night because them people have been brought up. We got to go. Love you guys. Bye, everybody.